And good evening, everyone, and welcome to Rosen Sports Sunday, live from our Channel 4 studios. Reunions in sports can run the gamut from exhilarating to forced. Last night at Target Center, we had one of those really feel-good reunion moments at the start of the Minnesota Lynx season. That moment occurred in the pregame introductions when Lindsay Whalen and Janelle McCarville were back together on the same team for the first time since their memorable Final Four run with the Gophers back in 2004. Neither started their pro careers here in Minnesota. Of course, the Lynx were kind of invisible in the sports landscape here for quite a while. But the return of Whalen, with the new additions of the likes of Simone Augustus and Maya Moore, changed all that. Now McCarville's here, as they say, putting the band back together again. And it was a rousing start for the Lynx, who rolled over Connecticut by the final score of 90-74. And the head coach of the Minnesota Lynx, Cheryl Reeve, joins us live in studio. Cheryl, welcome back to the show. And before we wade into the game and how well it went things for you last night, Lindsay Whalen said the introductions with McCarville was something she will never forget. Did you sense that at the beginning of the game as well? I thought it was unbelievable, the energy in the building. There was so much that we were celebrating, but then when we got to that moment where Janelle was coming out and you could see Lindsay, you know, it took him back a little bit, and it was fun to be a part of. You were not here, of course, when Whalen and McCarville put this Gopher basketball program on their backs, but I'm sure you've heard the stories. They're probably getting better like every other story as the years go by, right. But did you sense right away that their connection from the moment you guys got together for training camp? Yeah, it's a very natural connection. It's something that's very easy, and I think it happens because they're both such terrific instinct players. Lindsay knows how to play the game, Janelle knows how to play the game, and they know how to play off of each other. And we saw that right away, right out of the gates. You know, some of the give and go action, and it was really kind of cool to hear the oohs and ahs, you know, between the two of them. Yeah, the league maybe did you a favor in waiting so long to have your first game. Maya Moore said, quote, "We were like caged animals waiting to get unleashed." You probably, after that scrimmage you had on Wednesday, did you sense that as well? We did. You know, it was about Wednesday when I realized, you know, I knew that the extra time would be good for us. It gave us a chance to give a couple players some rest in the beginning of training camp. But then we got to that moment where the league had kicked things off, and, you know, we sat and watched that first weekend. And, you know, if we played Tuesday or Wednesday, that might have been a little easier, but we still had, you know, another 5 days to go. Yeah, so they, you know, as Maya said, we were unleashed. Well, Maya Moore, as we know, is one of the most highly decorated players in women's college basketball history. We saw why again last night. 11 of 19 from the field, 26 points. How has your game, Cheryl, evolved since joining the WNBA and the Minnesota Lynx? Well, you know, I think you come in as a rookie and you're unclear as to how to do the same things you did in college. And I think Maya has just been a great student of the game. Every day she wants to improve. And what I really like about how she's come in this season is she's really focused on being an efficient basketball player. She can get her shot anytime she wants to. She understands how to play within the system, but just making sure that her shot selection is there. And then my favorite part is, you know, the defense and the rebounding. You know, the offense everybody loves to watch, but, you know, for us, her focus on the defensive end was really important. She had those games last year and she would disappear for stretches. Do you want her to be option number 1 or 1A with your team all season? Is that the way you revolve around your offense? You know, I'm so lucky that we've got, you know, I got 3 Olympians on the perimeter, and then, you know, add Rebecca Brunson, you know, and Janelle McCarville, so I'm really fortunate there that I don't need a 1A or 1B. You know, certainly Maya needs to be aggressive, you know, within what we're doing. And it's crazy how she gets her shot off like that. Yeah, you know, she's pure. You know, that jump shot is, she works and works at it. And you hear that she has a very high basketball IQ, and that's a big thing in the mental aspect, as you know, of this game. Oh, no doubt about it. She's somebody that I think the work ethic is there every time she plays. She plays so darn hard, but she thinks, you know, everything she's doing, she has a purpose to it. Simone Augustus has been waiting to get back on the court since the final game of the WNBA Finals last year. Disappointing loss in performance. She was scoreless in the first quarter. She had 20 points in the second and third quarters, going 9 of 11 from the field at one point. Just an amazing performance. Really complements Maya's game, along, as you mentioned, with the other Olympian, Lindsay Whalen. She can get her looks on the court as well from just about anywhere. Well, Simone is always going to be a player that we're going to try to get the ball to. You know, I don't like for her to go any quarter without scoring the ball or taking a few shots. You know, but you know, Simone understands that when Maya's doing her thing, we're going to let Maya do her thing. And then she sensed that there was a moment that she could begin to get her action in, and she did a great job of it. I know Kevin Durant was courtside again, and as with every shooter's mentality, even when she has one of those games where it's not falling, she's not going to back down. No, she's not. You know, and whether KD was there or not, you know,
Simone's going to be Simone, and I think he enjoyed some of the action. Simone is just a terrific one-on-one player. The nice
right
floater
on the left hand there.
Yeah. I liked how aggressive she was. We didn't settle for jumpers. I thought that was a key to our game.
So if you look at, meanwhile, Janelle McCarville's box score, there are a bunch of zeros. 0 points, 0 shots taken, no free throw attempts. Yet in her 20 minutes of court time, you said she did have a big impact on the game and on your team last night.
Oh, I mean, like I said, the energy that she brought, the way that she played the game, her passing. I thought her defense was really impressive. I thought she competed really hard.
3 block
got on the floor, got on the floor for loose balls, and she just seemed to be, every time she was out there, she seemed to be involved in a play in some way, somehow.
Well,
there she is on the floor there.
Taj retired, but the WNBA seemingly is getting more physical every year. Was the acquisition of McCarville a direct result of what happened in the finals last year? You wanted to get a little more physical?
I think that makes us sound really smart, that we really had that in our minds, but, we really just looking to fill a hole with Taj, and Janelle was available. Now, Janelle has been certainly on the radar for this team for a while. For me, it's honestly her passing, the way she fits into the offense and her ability to score three-point plays. The defense and the rebounding is something I'm not real sure exactly what she's going to give me on a nightly basis, but if it's anything like what she did the first night, we're going to be in good shape.
She's got quite a nasty streak in her as well, which I'm sure you'll see as the season progresses. Is she also quite the cut-up in the locker room as well?
It's an interesting combination,
personalities.
She's not a nasty individual by any stretch. She's more of a lover, not a fighter. But when she gets on the court, like you said, she kind of turns into something else.
So from a marketing standpoint, the fans will be very interested in your next game. It's Thursday night here against Phoenix, the #1 overall draft choice, Brittany Griner from Baylor, the 6'8" dunking machine. I know you have mixed feelings about her. They lost again tonight. Great for the league, but is the WNBA in a sense force-feeding the dunking aspect like it's something special you just can't miss? You want to watch this?
Well, I think it is special. It's new to our game. It's the evolution that everyone's been waiting for. For us to attract the Sports Center fan or the Rosen Sports Show fan, to be involved a little more. They want to see dunking, and so if that's what gets more eyes on our game, that can only help us.
Well, she had a couple dunks in her first game, but her Phoenix team also lost by 20 points to Chicago in the process. You have to come up with a special defense against her. You watched her play again tonight. McCarville, I mean, she's also got, a bit of a adjustment she has to make right now in the pro game.
Well, for sure. It's not been easy. I thought the game, when she had her first road game in probably one of the top places to, home courts. It's a tough place to play, and they're physical and that sort of thing. But I think for Griner, you try not to tear apart too much of what you like to do, and that's certainly going to be the case for us. We want to play our defense.
It is pretty spectacular.
It is impressive. It's absolutely impressive.
It's 2 points, but it's impressive.
Hey, if we're up 22 points and she's doing that, I might cheer for her.
Is there anyone on your team that can come close to doing this yet?
I don't think as high as she gets. No,
she's 6'8".
She's 6'8", and again, she's got that great vertical, great hands, great body control, coordination. But we're going to look to knock her off, knock off her kilter a little bit. And if she dunks, she dunks. But like I said, if we're up 20, that's okay.
I want to say your team is sort of flying under the radar this year. I mean, how is that possible, given the fact that you won the title 2 years ago and lost in the finals last year? Is it because of the Brittany Griner and the Chicago?
I think it is. I don't know how it happens, to be honest with you. The second best 2-year run in the history of the league is it's tough to overlook. But it's a little bit of the world that we live in. Is we're not the Maya's not current. She's a third-year vet now, and it's kind of old news.
Right.
But it's ESPN and their platform, which is a great thing, and they broadened their partnership with us, and we're going to roll with it.
I know, having many discussions with you, you're also a big NBA fan as well, and you couldn't watch last night Indiana take apart Miami because you had your own game, obviously.
Right.
But from a head coach's perspective, what are your observations about this Indiana team against LeBron James, who seemingly become just a one-man team in Game 7 in the Eastern Conference Finals tomorrow night?
To me, it's eerily similar to our final series with the Indiana Fever in that when you play physically and you can take the flow out of a team, because Miami wasn't playing this way before. They were sharing the ball, and the ball was moving around a little bit. But when you get physical and you get in cuts and it stops the ball movement and you become more of a one-on-one team, that's what I've really seen is that, like I said, we felt it, we know. And, Simone, if you look at that series, was kind of, in that same situation. We're not able to make the extra passes. And
so you're not discounting Indiana from winning tomorrow night?
Not at all. No, I think it's going to be they're not afraid. What have they won? 5 out of 8 times?
They have.
They're not afraid.
Exactly. So reminder, Thursday night, Phoenix. Game's not televised, so get to Target Center if you want to see Brittany Griner.
You got to come see her play, and come see us beat her, right?
That's the way you have to look at it.
That's right.
Cheryl, good seeing you as always. Thanks so much for coming in as well. Coming up next on Rosen Sports Sunday.
Total time total contraction on those muscles hitting those deltoids.
Yeah, get ready to get lean. We'll spend some time with Ron Henderson, the fitness king, with some great tips for a healthy body and mind. That's coming up next. And welcome back. We're all bombarded by the newest workout fads, diets, and exercise books, but many times, as in sports, the best, most effective way of getting results is by doing the fundamentals well day after day. That has been Ron Henderson's game plan for personal training, now going on 33 years in the Twin Cities. The Fitness King believes that by paying yourself first, the quality of your life will only improve as the years go by. Before we hear from Ron, we paid him a visit at his Fitness King studio.
And so I'll take a weight like this, I'll go through the motions, bring it up, feel it, and down. Breathing out on the way up, okay, and down. But I'm staying connected to the whole movement. And down. Give me one more set of those. Bring it up, hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it, and down. Good job. Pushing the weight up like that. Now all of a sudden, there's people around and it's like, they can't get the weight up, it's like, in fact, you see this on some shows that I'm not going to talk to you about, popular shows on TV I can't watch, because you see these people that have a lot of weight to lose and they get their weight up. Well, that's bad form. And what they're doing is putting themselves in a position to injure the body state. Remember, it's a hinge unit, so you don't lift the arm up. You keep that arm into the body, just like a door hinge, like that. So we're just like that. So don't do that. And back to the center where you start. Total time, total contraction on those muscles hitting those deltoids, and back together. Obviously, it's hard to talk and breathe at the same time. So you'd be expelling out that air and back in, okay?
Makes it look easy. Ron Henderson joins me in studio, the author of a new book, Fitness Economics. Ron, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Mark.
What was your overall message you wanted to give with the book, and more importantly with this title, because you don't associate the word economics with fitness?
Well, the title came up because people, they're always, you talk about corporations and people dealing with their finances. It's about the economics of all of that, okay? You're making money, you're trying to build your corporation, you're trying to build your financial portfolio. Right. You're preparing for your kids' college, all those things, IRAs, all those things. You're thinking about your financial future, but you're neglecting your physical self right now and your physical future, because you have to make the same kind of deposit that you would make financially early on, you need to make physically early on, okay?
So it's consistency. So your basic message is, if health is wealth, then why aren't we healthier? I mean,
right. But then with that, Mark, is applying the principles that you use in your finances to your health. See, most people know how to, or what they should consume, because we're bombarded. Every day we hear it on TV, what we should be eating, et cetera, right. Whether it's Dr. Oz or Dr. Phil. So most people know what to do, but what will motivate them to do it?
Yeah, when you talk about balancing your health budget, as you said, don't write a check with your body that you can't afford to cash. So what's the message you're trying to get? There are no quick fixes. There's all the, we talk about the anti-aging products in the market and the surgical procedures. All of us want to look younger, stay young in mind, as well as body over the years. But how do we accomplish that?
Okay, first of all, I agree, there's no panacea, period. But what you have to do is make those deposits early on. But again, when I talk about that, you need to be able to, how do you get people motivated? Is to relate it to something that people understand, and that's their finances. So take the same principles, and I keep going over that, take those financial principles, apply it to your health.
You've seen many examples, people you've trained who have a lot of financial success, but don't translate, and they're not able to enjoy it in their later years, is what your message is.
Yes, and in fact, I have a guy that actually understands that, Mr. John Marsick. A lot of people know him in town. He owns a lot of different properties, restaurants, very successful. But he's also successful physically speaking, because he's been working out with me for over 15 years. So he's in better health. Exercise
relieves stress. A lot of people go through very traumatic experiences. It could be everything from losing a loved one to losing your job. And instead of getting a pint of ice cream, your message is keep moving. I mean, and it's an easy message, but it doesn't have to be some fad either, just the basics of what you're talking about.
Basic, and I also talk too, in fitness economics, I talk about automated extras as well. Now, here's an example. Most people, if you go into their restroom or their bathroom, they have magazines in the bathroom, Mark. I say take all those books out of your bathroom, because that's an extra 5-10 minutes. And people laugh about it, but that's an extra 5-10 minutes you're spending reading that you could be spending exercising.
Well, people always have these New Year's resolutions,
right,
and they start them, and then by, well, where we are in June, it's like it goes by the wayside. So how do you keep them focused, challenging yourself, you know, taking the stairs instead of taking the elevator? And as you said, too, you're never too old to start an exercise program. Never.
You know, in fact, the one guy was talking about, he's 75 years of age, as an example. My dad is 85, and I got to share this with you. I was speaking at a conference, a corporation, and I had a guy come up to me, short guy, and he says, "King, how old do you think I am?" And I looked at this guy and I said, "I don't know, 65. He stood up and he said, "I'm 85. I said, "Wow. That's what I'm talking about." See?
Well, where can folks get your book, Fitness Economics? Where can they get it?
Amazon.com. Very simple. Right. Just go to Amazon.com.
Well, how old are you now?
I turned 59 May 15th. I'll tell you what, I've never felt better in my life. Get on the floor right now and do some planks.
I could beat you in arm wrestling.
Let's do it right now.
Speaking of fitness, you won't find a better all-around athlete than Joe Webb of the Vikings. Coming up next on Sports Sunday, Mike Max goes one-on-one with the Vikings' new receiver. That's right, receiver, about leaving quarterback behind and embracing his new role. Stay with us. Well, no one who saw Joe Webb play football questioned his ability because of his athleticism. But with the Vikings fully invested in Christian Ponder now as their starting quarterback, and then signing Matt Castle this offseason as their backup, the team said they had to find a way to try and get a playmaker like Joe Webb on the field. So this year, they moved him to receiver. Mike Max went one-on-one with Webb about that switch.
Joe, here we go. As the wheels turn round and round, now they've talked about you as a wide receiver, experimented with you a little bit. Now you're there. How does it feel?
It feels good. Just to be out there running around. Back out here with our teammates, and it's coming along good though.
Do you miss playing quarterback? Is quarterback such a unique position because you have so much responsibility and ownership that you can hardly describe it compared to another position?
Yeah, quarterback. Quarterback has always been in my heart. I've been playing quarterback since I've been a little kid, but Coach Frazier sees a different plan for me. So I'm just working to come out here, work to get better, and help the Vikings bring a championship.
Was it hard for you when they called you and said we're switching you?
Not really. I'm a team player, so I just try to go out there and do what's best for the team. One of the most important things, I want to be on the field to help the team. So I get a chance to do that this year, and I'm looking forward to it.
One of the reasons that I understand that they wanted you as a receiver or to be around is guys gravitate to you. You have a lot of people that call you a friend on this team, that just like being around you, and maybe you're a leader without even realizing it sometimes. Are you aware of that's kind of the word on Joe Webb, is that guys like to be around him?
It's a great title to have, for guys that like to be around you, and communicate with you. They can tell you things, their problems on and off the field. That's a big responsibility. So, I'm just happy for guys to see me that way, and I just could try to continue to try to be a good person.
Is that come natural to you? Do you think most leaders are natural leaders and it's born, or?
I believe that. I believe that phrase. Born leader, natural leader, things like that. I'm just trying to. I love my teammates. You never know when it's your last snap, so I just try to enjoy every moment on the field.
Being a great athlete, and people recognize you as that. Does that make an easy conversion to a position, or is there so much studying and so many intricacies that go into it that it's not that simple? Because the thought would be, well, Joe could just go run a route and he's got good hands and he can make plays.
Yeah, a lot of guys see that in a different way. Just because you're a great athlete don't mean you're going to be great at that position. You had to work. You had to put in the work to be great at that position. And so that's what I'm doing now. Continue to work on my hands, continue to work on my route running, and, coming in and out my cuts, out my breaks. You had to continue to work that. Just because you're a good athlete don't mean you're going to be a good player at that position, but if you don't work.
Was the Green Bay game really tough on you?
Yeah, it's a tough game, just a game to learn from. It's in the past, I continue. I don't look back in the past. I just learn from it and keep it moving. It
just looked like, when we saw you the next day out here, it looked like you were really disappointed.
Of course I was disappointed that we didn't win the game, but everybody wanted to win the game, but things turned out different. So just look forward in the future. You're
big on there's a purpose for my life, aren't you? You've always talked about that. You don't know what it is, and you can't predict it, but you got to be ready for it and adjust on the fly. And I guess that's the definition of the NFL, huh?
Yeah, of course. You know, you got to do what you can, you know, to help the team. So that's the most important thing. The more you can do, the better. And that's what a lot of guys on this team trying to do. You know, you do more, then you have a better chance to making a team. So, you know, I'm just trying to go out here and get better, just enjoying every moment. You know, we got beautiful weather, you know, finally. So
life's not bad if you're getting paid to play football, right?
Oh, of course not. Of course not. Never bad.
Joe Webb is entering the 4th and final year of his rookie contract, and of course his future in Minnesota might very well depend on how this experiment works out. We wish him well. Long odds, but he's a great athlete. We'll be right back. Yes, we are a bit in our sports abyss at the moment, where we do have Game 7 tomorrow night, Indiana at Miami, the Eastern Conference Finals. The Twins resume play. They're off tomorrow. They're now in 3rd place. They play in Kansas City starting on Tuesday night. We'll have a preview of that series tomorrow night during our 6 o'clock newscast. And leading up to Thursday night, again, the Minnesota Lynx at home against Phoenix and 6'8" Brittany Griner. And the Major League Baseball draft is also on Thursday night. And that's the same, of course, as Major League, other big sports as well. The Minnesota Twins with the 4th overall pick in Thursday night's draft. So a lot to look forward to this week as well. Hopefully enjoy the weather, and thanks for watching Rosen Sports Sunday, and we'll be back again next week. Good night, everyone.